Ladies and gentlemen, we know that in the Constitution of Kenya, the right to protest is enshrined. And the only way that the citizens of Kenya can express their dissatisfaction or disappointment on any matter, whether it is a political issue, social, or economical, or even security issues, they can speak through their representatives or directly. And one of the ways to exercise this right directly is to protest. But we've seen a trend in this country that when one party is protesting against the other, then the opposite party try to employ dirty tricks to fix the other party. Like, for example, during political protest, we've seen the opponent try to dress themselves like their fellows. And then they participate on those protests with the aim of painting those protests bad image. Like, for example, you will find that if it is one party protesting against the other, the opponent will make the party colors of their opponent, then they join them with their goons to infiltrate that protest, to destroy property, to kill, and then it will make their fellows look bad on that aspect. Now, for the last case where the citizens were protesting against the police, as precisely against the Deputy IG Eliud Langat to resign over the death of Albert Ojwang, there is this trick that the police try to employ. And look at this video carefully.
We tulia, acha mbwembwe, tulia. Umechomwa bro, gari yenyewe.
As I play it, when you look at this video, it is a video which was recorded on the day Kenyans were protesting against the IG of police. They wanted him to resign. And if you look at that, those are the two cars that were reported touched. And this video was recorded before they were touched. And as you can see there are those who are doing that work, opening the bonnet. And as the others were trying to vandalize these cars, one for a security firm, and another one is a private car, look at those two gentlemen trying to throw stones up there. Their aim was to vandalize those CCTVs. Remember, this whole exercise took place at Kenya Cinema. And I think from that video, that building which they are trying to vandalize, its CCTV, is Reinsurance Plaza. And on the other side, where the video was being recorded from, is the Kenya Cinema side. Now, if you see that gentleman with a sack, like a street boy, it has been established that this car was not burnt by the protestant. Those people doing all that exercise have been established to be either police officers working as undercover police, or they could be the NIS. And because that man with the sack was captured in more than 4 places during that protest with that sack with the covered face. Why covered face? You will notice that there's also a lady that has passed there with the covered face. Why are they covering their faces? These are not common men, common ladies. These are not common citizens. These are either undercover police or the national intelligence trying to participate in this demonstration with, number one, their aim is to capture everything that is going on here, inquire all the information, follow the footsteps of this protest, and also to destroy properties and to paint this peaceful protest as dirty, messy, and noisome. Another thing, if you look at how they are adorning themselves, that man with a sack is trying to play low, is trying to behave and to pretend as a street boy, yet he is not a street boy. That is either police undercover or an intelligence officer, or maybe one of these political groups decided to infiltrate that peaceful protest and to degenerate to chaos, then police to employ excess force and to cause more death, casualties, and body injuries, which Kenyans have refused. Kenyans have now responded in this way. Look at this video here. Kenya is wrestling a police officer, and not just a Kenyan, a lady full of bravery, heroism, to go and confront police officers, not to fight, not to take away his gun, but to unmask that police officer. Because some of the challenges we had with the Gen Z's protest was the issue of security officers covering themselves to hide their identities. And once this was done, we ended up losing lives. People were abducted, and some of them could not be traced up to this moment. Some were found dead. They ended up being found in quarries, in forest, or dumped somewhere with serious injuries without knowing exactly who did that and why, because even the police officers denied participating or taking part in either arresting, abducting, or killing the Gen Zs. Therefore, the only way to make it easy to identify the perpetrators of abduction, killing, torturing, and maiming any person, the police officers must remain unmasked and must be identified when they are carrying out their duties. So Kenyans have said enough is enough. The police reforms, if they can't be applied diplomatically, now Kenyans have said unto themselves that they are going to employ and to deploy those police reforms. And number one reform was to ensure that the officers don't use excess force during peaceful protest or demonstrations, because this was a peaceful protest just to ask not too much from the government, not too much from the police, but just what is enshrined in our constitution, the right to live. And they were fighting for the right of Albert Ojwang, whose life was taken in one of the most painful way that any man can ever die. A man who was brutally murdered in the hands of police, whether it was in Karura Forest or Central Police. That is a subject for confirmation. But what we know at the moment is that Ojwang died very painful death. And therefore, once the constitution is suspended, the rights of the citizens are suspended. The only way that the citizens can go out and to demand their right is to go to the street, to march peacefully, to picket, and also to express their dissatisfaction with the services offered to them by the independent and constitutional bodies, more so to the security apparatus. Once they use too much force, then they violate human right, and that is a right which is enshrined in constitution. And right to live is a very, very serious right. It is number one right. Before you go to other rights like right to clothing, shelter, food, health, number one, you must live, is when you can have the other rights. And once your right to live is violated, that is a very serious crime. And when the government and the police refuse to give Kenyans justice on this issue, then Kenyans have a right to go to the street to demand for their rights, to demand for justice. When the government has refused for Kenyans to dip their empty bucket of right in the constitution, in the court of law, in the hands of the police to get their rights, now they must go to the street to demand it. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time, and may God bless you.